Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to another episode. And this one, it's exclusive one-on-one with one of my best friends, I would say as well. Since even though we know from a couple months, but it seems like many years we know already from maybe from a past life. Hello, Joy. How are you today?
Hi, Daniele. How you doing?
Very good, very good. You have a beautiful smile. Thank you for coming today to share also your knowledge with the people out there that are going to watch this video. And I'm sure you can help them to understand more about the process, how we met, and why you are so fascinated and interested in what you're doing right now. So we met pretty fast. We met with Joy months ago. And since then, it's like one after the other, one after the other. So I'm very happy and excited, and hopefully whatever she's gonna say to you guys will help you to make an informed decision, because that's what is most important nowadays, specifically when you make an investment purpose in your town, outside your town, or another country, right? You want to know every single thing and feel secure with the aspect. But without any further ado, let me introduce to you Joey. So where are you
Thank you,
from,
Daniele.
what you're doing, what you have done, and why you choose to do what you do right now?
Okay, good. Thank you for having me, first of all, Danielle. It's a pleasure always. So my name is Joy. I am from the United States, currently reside in Texas. So I started my real estate journey with Daniel here a couple months ago, which was like 3, 4 months ago now. Can't remember precisely, but it feels like a lifetime. Like he said, we're probably neighbors in another life, who knows? Maybe. So for me, real estate investment is a journey. And not until I got started, I began to realize that there's a lot to learn about, like real estate terminologies, like your purchasing strategies, whether you are starting with buy or hold, or if you're trying to fix and flip a property. And on top of that, just add a little bit of that additional layer of complexity to that mix, such as purchasing international real estate. I had no idea about purchasing international real estate until I got together with Daniel just a couple months ago. So whether you are new in the game or experienced, you need to understand your investment strategy and any applicable laws in your region of interest. That's where working with someone like Daniel becomes a non-negotiable move. As you already know, Daniel, you're an asset. So you need someone who is trustworthy, just like Daniel, who is patient. Because if you are anything like me, you're going to be asking millions of questions, as you should, because you're venturing into a very unfamiliar territory, and someone on the other end of the spectrum who's not just interested in getting your money for you to invest or just getting a commission off of your investment, but someone who will provide you with answers to your questions, both during scheduled calls or even offline as well, just like you did for me, Daniel. You remember we had a ton of questions. I had questions about currency conversion. I had questions about calls and all of this.
Yes.
So many things. So you need that level of guidance. So every investor needs someone who is experienced and knowledgeable with how things work in their region of interest, and quite frankly, someone with some skin in the game. So for me, one of the motivating factors for me to work with you, Danielle, was when we got started. I remember you mentioning that you've purchased real estate in Mexico as well. So that means that you have some skin in the game and you understand what it's like to be on the other end of buying real estate properties with liquid cash and all this other like positive aspects of actually owning a piece of real estate. So just before I delve into helping people, I just want to say, a huge shout out to Daniel. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for constantly working with me. And I'm excited to work on all the projects that we have in the future lined up. So being able to work with someone as seamless as Daniel makes it very intriguing for me to, want to begin to help people and want to begin to have people be onboarded and understand all about like securely investing their money in real estate, and being able to understand what equity appreciation, entails, being able to cash flow from your property, even if you don't have to be there passively, and all that good stuff. So I'll pause here for a second. I know I said a lot of things.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good. We can talk forever. We know that. But
Yeah.
I want try to make it just a few points. So which will be the base start from a new individual that can be an first time investor or somebody that has already some good experience. Specifically, if we talk about somebody that does already land development, right? One or the other. So it doesn't matter wherever it is, you still need to know the base information. So the first question would be probably from somebody else that already asked me right now. You are from Houston, Texas. Why you went and do these things outside your country?
That's a good question. Mexico is a great spot it's a great vacationing spot. Even if you don't pull a statistical data, if you've ever traveled to Mexico, there's a bunch of people who are actually vacationing in Mexico around the world.
Mm.
So where is a better place to have an investment property that you can use for short rentals? Mexico. And of course, you can have those opportunities here in the United States. You can have Airbnbs and whatnot. But at the same time, it's just like with every investment, you want to be able to understand your risks and what level of cash flow you're looking for. I think it varies from person to person. For me, I want that stability, that knowing that passive income is coming at a stable base, because it's such a hot vacation spot for me.
Somebody right now asked me a question. You already been an investors in Texas. You already are familiar with your cash flow and so many I call BS, political BS that every country has, right? You have to deal with, right? So knowing about Mexico, right? What it make you thinking to go from security, quote unquote, US country versus Mexico, where a lot of people say so many bad things?
I think that varies from person to person. It depends on who you're asking. I know a bunch of people who don't like America, who don't think America is safe. So with that being said, there's crime everywhere, I would say. And I don't know if you've ever been to Mexico. Cancun has always been like my spot. I know there's a bunch of other places you can go to in Mexico, but like when you go to Cancun, because of the high level of tourist traffic there, you see that there are actual security officers, police officers who patrol all the time if you ever come out of your resorts and stuff like that. So it's not just like a country that is just there, that is lawless or whatnot. It's crime happens everywhere. The same way crime happens here in America every single day. So crime happens everywhere, but it's more so like, what are the strategies that the government has in place to be able to curtail these things? There are strategies in places. There are level of securities being getting boosted because, of course, Mexico welcomes a bunch of strangers to their country day in and day out. Like, you do not want international incidents and stuff like that. So I would say that crime is everywhere, but it's not as bad as people speculate it to be.
Right, that's your last word is very important because we know also some people, I don't know why, I know why, and somehow they use to do this type of speculation to get more watching time on their own media.
Yes.
And they come up with any
Narrative.
narrative, but they're able to, because now technology is pretty easy, they make all these change in the video. They make even the sound of shooting, and then it's not shooting at all. I'm like, what? Yeah, and it goes all over the place, right? But in the meantime, they get lots of viewing, which
Right.
that's what the social media wants, right? So the next question would be, knowing now that you know all these things, that you feel secure with all these imperative and understanding of how to move from one country to another, why you think you are mentioned just Cancun, right? But where did you invest and why you choose to invest in that location?
So I invested in Tulum. So Cancun for me, previously to being introduced to Tulum, is Cancun is the only place a lot of Americans talk about when they say they're visiting Mexico. But turns out Cancun is not the only tourist attraction area in Mexico. And
Yeah.
a huge part of that knowledge gap, and also bringing able to that knowledge for me was working with you, because you did not only just sit with me and tell me about these opportunities. If you remember in the first few discovery calls that we had, you went through like the neighboring areas, what were around those areas, what makes these areas like, a huge tourist attractive sites for folks who are, looking to vacation in Mexico and stuff like that. And it was just very eye-opening for me. And with also going over like offline doing my research, and I'm looking at the amount of people who actually go to Tulum, but I don't know why Cancun just seemed to be the most popular place that people talk about, especially here in the US. I think also with them, looking to open a new airport, it would make Tulum a big deal now, like moving forward.
Yeah, it's going to be the fifth terminal in Cancun and the new airport in Tulum, which they talk about uh, probably partially open by the end of this year. We'll see, 2023. But also all the other $1 billion investments, such as the Maya train, which also by the end of this year is already be done. They already have lots of view you can check on IG, on Facebook. The president of Mexico go inside the new train. So it's real. So it's not like, okay, they're going to promise, but nothing happened. No, it is real. And so
Happening.
happening. So as I've been see and notice in these past 5-6 years in my personal life, when something new comes and you know already ahead of time and you have the right knowledge, then when you have to go in. And
Yes.
so many of the people, as I was going to teach you and tell you all these things in the past couple of months, when is the right time to start investment in is when something is growing, and is growing also gradually, not exponential fast, because then we end up to have this famous bubble. And so we know already nothing happened like this in Mexico, which is good because it's completely different. And also for the fact that it's a tourist, so people buy ahead over time, they pay ahead over time to go there for vacation. So you don't have to do these annually contract when you do an investment property. The other question that come up right now in my mind is now that, or let's say not now, a couple months ago, you already set up all your first contract. By the way, you end up to purchase what?
I ended up purchasing what's it called? The resort. I ended up purchasing a unit in a resort.
Okay, so you got a one bedroom apartment in a gated community in Tulum. And what else?
And a land.
A
Yeah.
land. Wow, why did you buy land? What you gonna do with this land?
Anything I want. Probably build a mansion in there. I'm just playing. But yeah, no development aspirations like right now. But towards the end of the year, who knows? And also with all of the view that is happening surrounding my land, obviously there's equity appreciation there. I can decide to do whatever I want with the land to like developers in the area. I can decide if I want to sell it, if I want to hold it. I'm more than likely I'm going to hold it for sure, or have something similar to my unit that I got built there as a second unit, that is cash flowing for me for a tourist and people around the area.
Very good. So you got as a first job, you got already in a one-bedroom apartment and a land. Fantastic. And you already know that you already get your appreciation in the less than 3 months already. Yeah. And so I'm very, very happy for you. So that means
Yeah.
that, you have the right mentality. And that's what we see all the time. When you have the right mentality, you know how to act. It's not like, let me thinking, I gotta make a phone call. I'm not sure about that. No, it's in and out. Why? Because you already done your due diligence. And the due
Yeah.
diligence is very, very important. And this is why when we met, we had done probably at least the first 2 or 3 times. It was a discovery call to understand and teach you also every single area, which we know that it's impossible to do for in 2 or 3 times, but we summarize at least 3 areas, which is Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Tulum. But we know there are another at least 2 in between these 3. And at the end of the day, it's all about what you're looking forward, how to strategize, and how to have something very unique for you, because every people are different, right?
Yes.
You end
Correct.
up to say, I want in a joint venture with maybe 2 or 3 people. We want to do a land development. We want to build a 14-unit cash flow. So something's completely different. I just go with the pre-sale. And I never forget when I showed you when I say there are over 400 pre-construction. We're like, what? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so there
Yeah.
are so many pre-construction, and my job is to show to each individual people they're looking to invest, the one that we know they are secure and they will finish, and they will
Yes.
give you at least what you're looking forward, right? In terms of return investment, cash flow, location, and so many other details. Because at the end of the day, it's like a recipe. The more you add together, the more respect and reflect who you are and what you're looking forward.
Very true. Well said. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so we will go through some work together to see other property because every time during the year there are special offer and service that member always get the advantage. So people they know that when they connect with me, also they will have also the ability to get something a little bit different that usually we know in US and Canada when there are a pre-sale. Usually they say it's a pre-sale launch, but it's never like this. It's already a stage 3 or maybe stage 4. Usually are a 7 stage when there's a pre-sale. When there's a pre-sale there, it's stage 1. So for sure you got a lower price. But also the other important things that there are so many other factors around, such as low taxes to pay, an
Yes.
easy way to manage the things. I believe that, and I want you to answer me this question, that your next step also is to visit Tulum,
Yes.
because some people, like I have a customer even from Switzerland. We connect, they buy without know about Cancun, Tulum, Riviera. They have no clue, but they buy stuff like that because maybe from the bank aspect in Switzerland, don't know, they have a different type of mentality, so they secure the asset, right? They have different information, but for people that never been in Cancun or Tulum or Playa del Carmen, what you think they supposed to know in order to feel secure and make that happen, and then going in the next couple of months like you do, for example?
So I would say for them is one, first having that initial discovery call with you, you know, beginning to understand a little bit about the area. That's number one. And two, doing their due diligence is very, very important. Like understanding these developers that we work with or that you work with, like how long they've been in business for, other projects that they've worked on, their credibility and stuff like that. So that way they begin to feel better about their investment, because as you know, there's a ton of people who are online, selling a dream to people about investment properties, but at the end of the day, it's nothing but just a scam, trying to take people's money from them, hard-earned money from them. So doing due diligence, understanding the area, doing your personal research too as an investor is very, very important. I think that's non-negotiable for anybody who's trying to venture into international real estate.
Yeah, and also I want to say at the end that your job now is to because already you already mentioned that your family or friends they start to ask about all these things. So what is your next mission beside to go to Tulum?
So my next mission is beginning to help them and help other people, reach out to other people, beginning to educate people about this investment property, because at the end of the day, I alone cannot buy all of the investment properties that are under construction. So I wish I had all that money. That would be great. But yes, I want to be able to have all my family and friends that are interested onboarded, so that they can have a piece of this real estate in the game, and we can all, come together and build together, because why not? The stronger we are, the better for us. Like one day we might all come together and become developers. So my next step for me now, apart from investing, is being able to teach people, put out this information in front of people, and give them options to be able to purchase this real estate. Tell them about the advantages of buying real estate right now. This is not a get money quick scheme. No, it's a patience. You have to be patient, because this is how you build generational wealth. I think from so being able to incorporate that and just being able to teach people moving forward now, I think is my next step.
Very good. Well done. Well done. Well done. I believe that, the more we are, the more we can help. And in the end, it's a win-win for everybody. It's not just the normal commission sell, because everybody can do that, but it's the relationship that you build with each individual. And today you testify that for sure to everybody, that the commitment that you have, the loyalty that it becomes with us in order to build the more and proliferate this idea, but mostly is to educate the young generation, because we don't know where we going to end up. And yes, 401k, RSP, whatever you want to call, we have no guarantee, and even though we will not get what we wanted, and we do 9 to 5 jobs, it doesn't work. So we have to come up with a strategy. Then there are so many strategies to be involved. Obviously, it depends on the market, but once you start to build with one, you go with the second, the third, and you move forward. Just got to be open mind and be educated. Yeah.
1000% agree with that.
Yeah, invest in education for sure in this type of investment. And of course, as always, there are scams around. So make sure that you do you get the right teacher that teach you all these things. So at least unless you know this.
Yeah. Extremely.
Yeah. Like everything in life. One more thing you want to say to somebody that has no clue, they want to invest, and they are tempted, but they have all this voice. Why are you going in Mexico? What's going on with you? You have a taxes or whatever.
What I would say to a person who probably has a lot of voice in their ear is, first of all, just learn how to cancel out the noise. Very key. Because the truth of the matter is that with anything in life that you're about to venture into, if you were to go to your family member and ask for an opinion, you will get an opinion, whether you like it or not. If you go to person 1, person 2, person 3, everybody would advise you according to their level of discernment. So first of all, close out the noise, go with real data, start to do your research, begin to speak to the right people, as opposed to asking for opinion from people who actually don't have an idea what it's actually like. Get on a plane and actually go out to Mexico and visit Mexico and see for yourself, or visit Tulum, wherever you are looking to invest. Just feel,
Just go.
yes.
Just go.
Yes, go. Feel the
Use your
vibe.
points.
Exactly. Use your point. Yes, use your credit card points, use whatever points you have, your airline points, whatever it is, go and see for yourself. Even if you go for just the weekend, that's fine. And begin to have these very intelligent conversations with people who would actually advise you better. You can actually even go talk to your lawyer if you have a lawyer, whoever you need to talk to. So you seek legal advice, as opposed to sitting down and just letting people, talk, and no action, because action is everything. Take action.
Time is the essence. Time is the essence. And
Yes.
specifically now, we are against the influence of inflation, right? We need to understand what's the counterpart. And the counterpart is to act and do the right things, doing your due diligence. That's all. Otherwise, we've been stuck from so many other entity that we cannot control. We
Right.
cannot control, but we can control ourselves, our action, and have the right mentality. Building that from when you go to sleep at night, you already start to think about that. You dream about that. You wake up already with your own self-consciousness, appreciation, meditation, working out, feel healthy, and connect with people. Usually, I say better than you relatively, but they inspire you, right? Without and so you can avoid toxicity at the end of the day. So something that push you to do the right things, or it says, "What are you doing?" That voice, right? Get out, right? So yeah,
Yes.
this is another huge discussion, but at least I believe we run down the base stuff for anyone that want to start to invest outside the country. Is a different concept. Obviously, you need to know and you need to feel secure with that type of investment. And we know no matter wherever you live, it's still affordable compared with other area geographically as well. And is in US currency. So thank God the US dollars is still higher, is good. So we keep up with that momentum as well. And obviously the pesos is very low. So when you invest in area where the lifestyle is cheap, relatively cheap, right? That is not a good indicator to make the investment. Specific if the investment is in US dollars. So that means that's good grant, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, very good. We had lots of questions here to answer, but I think we already answered most of it. I will answer back after. And so I thank you so much for taking your time. Well, I really appreciate it. And we already set up a time for this Friday to search for other investment, because now you don't want to stop. You want to keep going with the momentum.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and you are smart. That's why. And even more now because you went in Italy in the vacation. So
Yes.
now you think about, wow, look at these guys, what they're building here, right? So you want to do the same. No, I'm joking. Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Joy, and
It's always a pleasure.
see you soon. And I'm sure somebody gonna ask me some other specific question. I will send it to you, so I'm sure you can answer back.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Very good. Recording. She left. Haha. Okay. And so